Hello, everybody, and thank you for your patience. We're a couple of minutes late today. We had a couple of technical issues because apparently myself and Colin didn't do our sublimation to the presentation gods, and they have come and taken us out. Welcome to our, how many alumni sessions? Sixth or seventh? Today we're talking customer buy-in. I'm watching people coming in, and that's really cool. So thank you very much. It looks like a fairly small group today. Looking forward to seeing more people come in as we go along. As noted, this is recorded. So anybody that registered will get a copy of the recording. Everybody, welcome. Thank you very much. Let me introduce you to Colin quickly. Colin is one of our facilitators. He's been with us for a while, and I have been caught out again because I didn't open up the resume. Colin, help me out here. Tell me about yourself.
Wow, that was unexpected.
Well, indeed, it's we were stressing with the technical issues, so I kind of slipped up on a few things. Would you mind?
Okay, great. All right. Well, briefly, I'm a sales trainer, a presenter, and trainer and facilitator, and I provide training. Well, I assist with the training as well at Sales Institute, amongst others. And yeah, basically, my background is more technical. I was a aircraft electrician, where I started out my trade and worked through, and eventually went into training, where I started training people on the shop floor in technical aspects, and eventually through to supervisory management and sales. So that's where I've been for many years now, is in the sales field. I'd say most probably good over 40 years, 4 zeros. And yeah, so that's basically me in a nutshell, yes.
Thanks, Colin. All right, today Colin's going to be talking to us about mastering customer buy-in. That's really about building trust with your customers. Again, Colin's been doing this for a while for us, and independently, and working for other people. Colin, thank you for your time today, mate. Off you go. You're on your own.
Colin, can you just put your camera on, please?
Is it my camera is on?
Oh no, we can't see you. Okay, then just carry on. Just carry on.
Okay, my apologies, but the camera is on, so I'm not sure. Great. Okay. Great afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another session of the alumni presentation by Sales Institute. Today we're going to be speaking about customer buy-in and how to master that buy-in. Very briefly, this is a 1-hour presentation information session based on a 2.5 to 3 day training or training workshop as such. So let's try and kick off here and just see how we go. Technology, lovely. Okay, right, let's go. Okay, so what is the objective for today? So today we're basically going to help you or empower you with the information necessary to better understand various factors regarding leveraging and valuing the customer's expectations. What does a customer expect from you, and how to leverage that value. The mitigation of risk. So in other words, how does customers perceive risk, and how can we mitigate that risk to make it simplified or easier for the customer. And then finally, building trust through transparent and authentic interactions. So trust being the cornerstone, of course, with regards to any sales situation. And let's kick off and see how we go with that. So firstly, what has changed in the world of sales? Okay, number of things. Let's have a look at the traditional buying way or buying journey of buyers. Okay, in the past, you've always had the situation where marketing didn't have much time, they didn't have much scope in which to market their goods and services. And therefore, the salesperson had a much easier task to a certain degree, whereby they could start helping the customer already by exploring what is available, having a look at at various vendors and then all taking them right through to the purchase process. However, today that's become a little bit different. Change over the 4 eyes there. Right, today we look that marketing has got so much scope with regards to the internet and various other media, to the extent where they go right through. In other words, they are able to, at the push of a button, they can look at whatever solutions are available out there. What are the costings? What are the companies like, etc. And the salesperson really comes in at a very, very small section already with all this information that the client has already put together. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. So what do we do in a case like that? Let's have a look. Firstly, where do we come in at this point of time? All right. How do I, as a salesperson, make a difference when we've got so many other things that we're going to have to consider when we go and see the client? And then, of course, how do I make sure that I'm actually the one, okay, that's going to get the sale at the end of the day and not my competitor? So we're going to look at the 3 key buy-in factors, all right? The first one being value, all right? Now, sit back and just think for yourself. If you had to go and buy a car, a suit, a house, a home, whatever the case would be, what do you see as value? What to you would be the value aspect? Okay, now customers are very, very much the same, all right? They want you to be able to solve their problems, all right? They want you to make sure that you are able to meet their needs. And they want to make sure that at the end of the day, they have benefits that are worthy of the product or service that you are providing. Then we go to the next factor, which is risk. Risk, once again, think for yourself. What sort of factors are risky to you if you go and buy something or if you go and purchase something? All right? Things such as quality, is it really worth the money I'm paying for it? Is this product really going to carry through what I'm hoping it will carry through? All right? Is there a risk for me personally if I make the wrong buying decision? So these kind of factors come into play with regards to risk. And we need to understand, how do we minimize that risk? Then the third factor being trust, which is, as we spoke earlier, is really the cornerstone. Okay? This is where people will be more than willing to purchase products from you or services from you if they know that they have someone that they can trust, that they can believe in, and that the company is very much the same. And this really, the trust factor really revolves around you as the salesperson. So let's take each one of those, break it down, have a look at it, and then with each factor, have a look at how we can actually approach that. Right, so firstly, understanding what is value. Okay, value can be defined as a perceived benefit. It can be involved that something that provides, products that or services that provides in meeting customers' needs, solving their problems, as well as improving their situations. We spoke about perception there, okay? Perceived value. What do we understand about perception? Perception, really, there's a saying that says that the customer's perception is really your reality. So it doesn't matter, okay, what you believe about your product, about your service, about various aspects, about your delivery, anything. It doesn't matter what you believe. It is what the customer perceives that makes the ultimate difference. My apologies. My apologies, guys. Terribly sorry about that. One of those things I forgot. Okay. Right. Anyway, so Doesn't matter what you perceive about your product or service. It is really what the customer perceives about it. And that difference is really what makes what that customer, whether that customer is going to buy from you or buy from a competitor. All right. So you need to then work on the reality to the customer and how you can custom your product and service, what it provides to the customer's requirements. Now, let's look at that. What does a customer perceive as value? Once again, think about it for yourself, okay? Quality. What does quality mean to you? All right? Is it reliable? Is the product durable? Okay, is it well made? Is the service good? Okay, think about it. If you're buying a new car, what is it about the car that has value to you? Is it the way it looks? Is it the way it's designed? Is it its style? Is it the power of the engine? What is it that's actually standing out there for you? Okay. The next factor is functionality. All right. What do you understand about functionality? Think about it. Because functionality really effectively addresses the specific needs of a customer. Okay. Is that function, is it, does it actually work the way you say it's going to work? Does it actually do what you say it's going to do? Do you do what you say you're going to do? All right. Then cost effectiveness. Is this product or service really worth the money I'm going to be spending on it? All right. Is it going to be cost effective? Is it going to be something that's going to take extra out of my pocket at the end of the day? Or is it a package deal that I know once I've got it, there's no other issues I have to worry about? Convenience. Is this something that is really convenient to me? Think about yourself when you go and look at things. What is convenient? What does convenience really mean to you? All right. And to me, it would be making things easier for me, making my task that I have to achieve easier. All right. Being able to convince and enhance overall experiences. All right. So what is the convenience to you? That convenience is the same with your client. Personalization. Every customer likes things to be made personal to them. All right. Whether it's the way you approach it, whether it's the information you provide, if you can customize that information of what your product can do, okay, and provide that as a personalized experience to the client, you will then find that the overall experience starts increasing and the trust and value starts improving for the client and for you, of course, as well. And then finally, customer service. Do you say what you're going to do? Do you do what you're going to say? All right. Do you actually participate? Do you get involved? Okay. Do you follow up? Do you follow through when you have met up with a client or even afterwards? All right. So these are some of the factors that clients sit with. These are the value factors that clients think about. And it's then up to you on how you're going to handle that. Let's have a look at a couple of options. Okay. Firstly, how do we leverage that value of our products and our service? Firstly, through unique value propositions. Now, I'm sure many of you already by this time know a lot about what's happening with regards to value propositions, how to lay them out, how to put them across, that type of thing. But this is a very important factor for value to a client, okay? Firstly, understand that the customer has pains. They have a point of pain and they have many pains. And that really are the needs that become applicable to them. And you have got to address those needs. Now, to do that, obviously, you need to understand them. And that means questioning and querying and confirming until such a time as you fully understand the exact bottom line of what that customers or clients' needs are. Then clearly communicate your unique advantages and benefits. Okay. Understand your product. That's going to be very important. You need to understand your product, and you need to be an expert in your product, in your product field. All right. Then you need to understand what the needs are, and now you've got to clearly communicate what your product and service can do to meet their needs. What are the advantages of your product and service, and what are the benefits that the customer will get out of it at the end of the day? Create word pictures. Okay, things such as, I can see your frustration. I understand you want to get the best out of this product. Little word pictures just help to make people understand that you're actually listening to what they're saying. You're actually taking it in. Okay, and it paints a picture in their minds of what you're actually trying to achieve on their behalf. Differentiate your business from your competitors. Find that unique proposition that differentiates you, that makes you different, separate from your competitors, and pitch that to your client or customer as well. Then let's have a look at some showcasing strategies. Okay, how can we do that? Firstly, understand the customer's needs, as we said, very important. Then highlight the key benefits to the customer relating those needs. Okay, not others in general. Provide social proof. Okay, and that is very important. That social proof is how you come across to the customer, how they see that you are actually engaging with them. Okay, how, for instance, you can mirror them. You show concern. Things that you say, as we said earlier with regard to the word pictures. All right, I really like that idea. I really believe we can help you here. We can make sure that your production line is going to continue to run, okay, and you're not going to have long time constraints in between. That type of thing. Offering customized solutions. All right, once again, moving towards customizing or personalizing that your product or service to the client's needs. Demonstrate that your product actually will provide a return on investment. Whether you do that written, whether you do it verbally initially, whether you send it via an email, WhatsApp, whatever the case would be, okay, you need to be able to demonstrate that there is a return on investment to the client for the money and that they put into it. Educate and inform. Hence the reason, knowing your product, knowing your service, knowing what needs to be done, okay? Because customers want you to educate them. Yes, there's lots of stuff and lots of information on the website for them, all right? But not all that information is accurate, and it may not relate to your specific product. So make sure you know your product enough to be able to educate, okay, and inform your client on a regular basis. You must probably heard of touch points. Every single touch point that you have with a client, make sure that you leave with a good value to the customer. Okay, that customer has been informed, something positive, have been informed either about your product, about your service, what is happening out there, and how you are able to relate to that, how you are able to improve those circumstances and situations. Then create a sense of urgency with the client. Okay, you may be there may be a special on your products or services. All right, there may be various other factors that are important here. Maybe you have added something onto your product or service, an extra benefit if they take it within a certain period of time. So make sure that they understand those factors, creating that sense of urgency. And then once again, follow up and follow through. Okay, most salespeople don't even follow up after the first contact. That means the potential of losing out in every way is very, very high. And follow through. Make sure What you say you're going to do, do it. If you say you're going to follow up or you're going to get more information, do it. Right, so let's have a look now. Just to summarize very briefly, okay, customers perceive value based on the benefits that they are going to get, okay, from you relative to the amount of money that they are going to spend on that product or service, right? So make sure that everything is based on the positivity the customer will experience, because at the end of the day, that to the customer is value. Now, let's move to the next one. Risk. What is risk? Risk to the customer can be defined as the following, okay? Either potential certainty or negative consequences regarding your product or service. Something that's going to affect that client. Let's have a look at some of those, okay? What types of risks are there? Financial risks, okay? If I pay this amount of money for this product, is there a return on investment? Am I going to get what I'm paying for? Is this going to be a financial viability for me if I take it on? Performance. If it doesn't perform, how's it going to affect me? How's it going to affect my company? How's it going to affect my my productivity? All right. So performance is very important to most clients. How is it this product or service going to perform? Is it going to be on time? Is it going to reduce downtime? Is it going to improve the productivity rate? Okay. Is it going to enhance the end result and end quality for my client or my customer at the end of the day? So what is the performance going to be? Is it going to be risky or not? Is there going to be a time constraint in when I can get that product or service? Is there going to be a time constraint if there's a breakdown with regards to me taking this product or service? Okay. What is the timing factors involved here? Getting it, getting rid of it, having downtime, having breakages, okay? Something going wrong and I need to take it in. My cell phone goes off. Man, wow, I have to take it in. It's going to take 2-3 days before I get it back, maybe longer in some cases, okay? How am I going to deal with that in the meantime? Yeah, you can always get a second cell phone or whatever the case may be. But when I buy a product, I want to know that there is something regarding the time factor. From a social perspective, is it going to affect me and my relationship with my boss, with my peers, with other departments? Okay, if I make the wrong decision, how's it going to affect me? Then psychologically, all right, and this always plays a big role in people's minds. Okay, and we found that most people, the researchers found that most people will rather tend to stay with the status quo, not move on at all, okay, not make a decision at all, rather than make the wrong decision and there be negative issues regarding it. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are some of the issues that are a risk factor, and we often just don't think about risk from that perspective. Okay, but how do I mitigate this now? How do I go about minimizing the issues? First, anticipate and address the concerns of your client, right? And you can't do this if you don't understand the needs, right? So once again, understand the needs. Provide clear information to the client. Make sure they understand that the information you are giving to them is very clear, that they've got no misinterpretations of the information. Okay? Offer guarantees. All right? You may have a 10-year warranty or a certain guarantee that if it doesn't work within a certain period of time, you will replace it or something like it. So keep that in mind. Offer guarantees. Demonstrate values. Right? on the return on investment. So demonstrate that. Make sure that you are able to provide proof. Provide exceptional service to the client. Okay, if you provide that follow up and follow through on a regular basis, you show them that you are experienced, you show them that you care, you show them that you understand and that you are trying to resolve their specific issues for them. Okay, you are providing an excellent service. Educating and inform, same thing as we discussed earlier on. And then offer trial periods or demos for the client. Okay, clients are much more easily acceptable to being able to try out your product before the time. Okay, so consider that as a possibility. So let's have a look then also on showcasing some of these strategies and bringing these into play. Firstly, provide testimonials. If you have satisfied customers, whether they're online, whether they are face-to-face customers, provide testimonials. Ask them if they will give you a written testimonial of some form or other about the product, and if possible, the service as well. Okay? Get them to provide you with these testimonials. Testimonials, guys and ladies, are very, very critical in the sales process and reducing risk. When people see what you've done for other people and how the results have been, the chances are very, very good that you can reduce the risks. Then provides case studies. Times when you've actually had a situation, okay, a client that wasn't happy with the existing robotics in their plant, okay, and you then supplied them with your product, and the improvements in productivity, the improvements in quality, the improvements in time, all those kind of factors. If you can provide those sort of situations, okay, and even case studies that have been done from other companies and other situations with regards to your product or service. Then provide guarantees, as we spoke about already. Make sure that you have the guarantees. Be open and transparent. Ladies and gentlemen, the minute a client or a customer identifies you as not telling the truth, and believe me, they pick it up very, very quickly. Okay? Be open and honest with your clients, with your customers. If you believe there is a defect on your product, mention it to the client. Okay? Don't let them find out once they purchased it, because that will be the last time you'll ever sell a product to them. Okay? And it may generate other potential non-buyers. So please consider that. Always be open and transparent about your products and your services. Engage with the clients on a regular basis. All right? Go and see them. Telephone them. SMS them. WhatsApp them. Send them a gift. Whatever is necessary. But engage with the client on a regular basis. And make sure your engagements are valuable. Make sure that every time you leave a client, the client is left with some value of your meeting. And finally, once again, follow up, follow through at all times. Right, let's summarize that. So, mitigating risk. By proactively addressing customer concerns and building credibility, you can minimize perceived risk and build stronger relationships. Okay. The less risk customer foresees, okay, take them with that journey. Take them on that journey. Show them how they can actually overcome those elephants of theirs. Okay, how they can get to face those elephants of theirs because of your product and your service that you can provide. That'll help them get to that point where they can actually stand face to face and resolve their issues. So that's risk. So we've done value, we've done risk. Let's have a look at the third factor, being trust. Okay. What is trust really? It refers to the confidence that a customer has in a salesperson, the reliability that the customer has regarding the salesperson, and the credibility of that salesperson. We did say in the beginning, trust is all about you. Not about the company, it's not about the product, not about the service, okay? It's really about you. So being their confidence in you, okay, means that they can rely on you, and that means also that you have got credibility. So let's look at those factors. The foundation of trust to a customer. What is that? Firstly, think about it. Excuse me. Honesty. If you can't be honest with a customer about flaws, about degeneration times, about productivity times, about issues that have happened in the past as well that have been picked up, you can't be honest with them with what you've actually maybe done in changing it, all right? That becomes a trust issue. Transparency, being very transparent, always making sure the customer is aware of what's going on, what the process is that you are taking, where are you now, where do you still have to go to with regards to the whole process, okay? Making sure they understand and everything is clear at every point of every communication or point of communication that you have with your clients. Deliver on your promises. How do you feel if a salesperson promises you that they are going to deliver it within this week, okay? And 2 weeks later, you're still waiting. Every time you try and phone them, you can't get hold of them. Okay? So deliver on your promises. Rather undersell and over-deliver. Rather tell them, if you know it can take anything from 3 to 5 days, rather give them the 5-day option so that you can deliver before that. Okay? Anything that you can increase on the trust level of the client, make sure that your chances of success are very, very likely and very high. Be open with your communication. That once again boils in with the honesty and the transparency and delivering on promises as well. But be open with your communication. Okay, communicate openly at all times with your customer. And then need prioritizing. Customers want to know that they are important to you. That you will prioritize them and their needs. Okay, and that they will receive your product and service the way you promised it, the way you said it will be, by when you said it will be, okay, and as successful. So keep that in mind at all times. They want to know that you are prioritizing their needs and that they're important to you. So let's have a look. How do we handle that? How do we build trust with customers? Ooh, sorry.
Colin, you okay, bud? Where were we? Looks like Colin's had an issue. Let's see what we can do to fix that. Alrighty, I'm just bringing up the presentation on my side. Hang in there for a second, folks. I'm catching up fast, okay? Let's see, where were we? Make that bigger. That.
Sure, it hasn't been a very good
We've had fun
day
today,
for technology today.
Yeah, we've had fun today. All right, so slideshow from current slide. Okay, I'm going to See if I can share my screen with everybody. Here we go.
Anybody maybe got any questions while we're waiting? Everybody okay?
So there we go. This wasn't anticipated at all. See what happens when you don't make the right sublimations, right? So building trust is about the cornerstone of customer sales. It's shaping the purchasing decisions and fostering loyalty. To build this vital connection, focus on honesty, transparency, consistency, and promise delivery for a positive experience that drives repeat business. Now, when we put that all together, what are we talking about? What we're essentially saying, we want to increase the value. Now that says customers want to know your offering will solve their problems, meet their needs, and provide them with their significant benefits. Now, understanding the value that your product or service delivers to customers, you can tailor your messaging and your presentations and your solutions to resonate with their interests and their preferences. We're talking about unique value propositions of your product or service as it relates to your customer is essential in attracting and retaining customers. Then we talk about risk. Do we? Eventually. Risk. Customers are naturally cautious. Guys, we're salespeople, right? And there are some people out there that have created a reputation around how people see salespeople. So they're naturally cautious and hesitant. They don't necessarily believe us. They're wary of potential risks associated with new products and services. Think about the new products and services that are coming out that you're bringing to your customer every day. Identifying and addressing these perceived risks, such as financial investment, performance concerns, or time commitment, is essential in building trust and credibility with your customers. By proactively mitigating risks and providing reassurance through testimonials, guarantees, or trial periods, proofs of concept are another way of doing that. You can alleviate your customers' anxieties and increase their confidence in choosing your offering. And then lastly, we spoke about trust. Trust is the foundation of any successful sales relationship. In fact, trust is the foundation of any relationship, especially sales. Customers are more likely to buy from and remain loyal to people and businesses they trust. Building trust involves establishing credibility through your expertise, your knowledge, your transparency, and your reliability. By doing what you say you're going to do. By consistently delivering on your promises, demonstrating integrity, and nurturing relationships with customers, you can cultivate a sense of trust that underpins long-term customer loyalty and advocacy. That's what we're talking about today. And when we put the little things in between, value plus risk equals transparency, value plus trust equals honesty, and consistency gives you your risk and your trust together, right? Communication, collaboration, and delivery. That makes up the circle of how you build customer buy-in. Sales is based on leverage. The more you know how to leverage sales, the more successful you will become. Leverage is the reason some people become rich and others do not become rich. In other words, it's talking about using what you got to your best advantage. All right, that's leverage. At this point, we would normally go into a Q&A session. Does anybody have any questions at this point that they'd like us to address with regards to building trust, value, and mitigating risk? Any questions? Don't all shout at once.
I see Colin is back. I don't know if Colin wants to add anything. It's a shame he disappeared. I don't know if you want to add anything, Colin.
I can't hear you, but you're muted. Colin, you're muted. We can hear you. We can see your mouth's moving, mate, but we can't hear a word you're saying. There we go.
Got me.
There we go. There, Colin, what happened, my friend?
I'm terribly sorry. Yeah, no, a power outage, but my personal power outage. So.
Oh well. Okay, we've done it for you, my friend.
I see that. I see that. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate that.
No
so
problem.
I think you've said it all. Now it's just a question of if there's any questions or answers.
Okay, I don't think so, but
Any feedback?
not at this stage, I don't think, right? Let's see what else we got, question and answers. So really, thank you everybody for joining us today. It's been a fun ride, hasn't it? Hopefully we don't have to go through that again, eh, Colin?
It will not happen again.
Again. Tracy, thank you for jumping in and being there for us. Right, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, this is all being recorded. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you had fun with the session and you learned some stuff, or you were reminded of stuff that you perhaps needed to be reminded of. Our next one is on September the 14th. It's going to be led by Tim. Tim is our CEO. He's going to be talking about something that we've all been hearing about and wondering how it's going to affect us, and that's called AI, artificial intelligence. Now, what he wants to talk about, what Tim wants to talk to you about, is how you can use artificial intelligence to your benefit in a sales environment. Okay? So we're talking Copilot, we're talking Gemini from Google, we're talking whatever Meta's got. That's the Facebook team. They've got their own product. In fact, even Apple's got something going now. So it's going to be an interesting chat. I hope that you'll all join us for that. I've got to tell you that this talk he delivered at the Sales Summit in Cape Town. People pay to hear him talk about it, and you guys are getting it all for free. Yes, absolutely, we'll be recording it. Please register so you can get the recording even if you can't join us for that day. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for now. We're open to any comments, any thoughts, anything you want to share with us. Please feel free to do that. Anyone? Anything? Wow, everybody's quiet today. Something to do with Wednesdays, folks. It's hump day, right? 2 more days and it's the weekend again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We'll see you all on the 14th of September. Please remember to forward these invites to friends, colleagues, bosses, anybody you think will benefit from them. We've got another 3 to do, so it'll be September, October, November. September, we already know, is going to be AI. We're not quite sure what's happening in October, November yet, but we do look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for joining us. Until we meet again.
You and I still chat, John?
We're all done, my friend.
Can you and I chat?
Do you want to say again?
Can you and I chat, please?
Of course, with pleasure. No problem at all.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. And thanks to John for his valuable information there, as well as for Tracy for setting it up. Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Here we go.